All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Melanin in Tech. My name is Tessa, and for those who are new to this channel, I just want to share that I started this channel as a way to just share with people a bit about my journey, my story, from working in the healthcare space as a vascular ultrasound technologist for 6 years to now working in the tech space as a full-stack software engineer building out web applications for also 6 years now. Actually just under, but almost there. And so, yeah, weird, time flies. But anyway, welcome back to the channel for those who have been here before, and for those where it's like your first time, thank you for coming. And so in today's video, we're going to be diving into the technologies that I use for an open source project that I serve as an individual contributor on called Activist. So if you've ever been curious about the technologies that are driving open source projects in 2024, then you're definitely in the right place. First, what is open source? What does it mean for a project to be an open source project, right? So basically, it is where all the source code is available to the public and anyone can use it. They can study it, modify it, and even distribute it for any purpose. And some of the common characteristics of an open source project will include things like source code is usually in a public repository where anyone can access it. I'll actually show you all that in this video for this project. And then some other characteristics include common things like community collaboration, and it just fosters collaborative efforts, where programmers can come together, share their changes, improvements, and updates to help improve the source code. And then that actually creates low barriers to adoption because it just makes it easier for people to adapt and collaborate on these changes and on these projects. Okay, so as we can see, the project is actually hosted on GitHub here. And the purpose of Activist, I just want to highlight, is to be able to create and develop a platform that will allow people, users, to engage in activism more safely and also make it easier for people to discover organizations and events and coordinate and collaborate on political action. So if I scroll down a bit further, we can see that this platform, it'll allow users to be able to take part in important issues that are affecting our society. And as you can see, these range anywhere and everywhere from refugee migration to racial justice to women's rights, animal rights, even LGBTQIA+ rights, the environment, and also technology and privacy, hence this being an open source project. All right, and so now if I scroll down a little further, we see we also have a cool preview video here that shows how to create and join events. So I will actually play that for us now so that you can get a feel for what that looks like. Now, if I scroll back up, we can actually see what we're using for our tech stack. So as we can see here, we actually have a pretty cool blend of multiple technologies that are working together seamlessly to bring our project to life. And so first up, we see we have Vue.js, which actually makes up 72.6% of our code base. And so Vue, as you can see, is our go-to framework Yeah, so Vue, as you can see, is our go-to framework for building the user interface. And we like Vue because it's pretty lightweight, it's flexible, and it really allows us to create interactive and responsive web applications as well. And as you can see here, these are some of the components that we've built with Vue.js for our project thus far. All right, so now I'm going to go back and let's see what we have next in the list. Next, we have Python, and Python comes in at 17%, as we can see here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on that so we can get a feel for some of the scripts and stuff that we have built using Python, which powers our backend. So it handles things like data processing, server-side logic, and also API integrations. So Python, if you don't know, it's actually pretty reliable, and it's also highly readable, so it makes it a great choice for this project. So now, as we could see, next up in the list is TypeScript, and that comes in at 9.1% of our code base currently. And as you can see here, we now have some of the modules and interfaces that we have built out using that for our project. So I have to say that as someone who learned JavaScript as their first programming language, TypeScript definitely grew on me. But I will say it definitely grew on me because it does add static type checking, and it helps you catch errors a lot earlier. I've noticed that one of the things I really like about it is just that it catches these errors at compile time rather than at runtime. And so it just leads to fewer bugs overall. And I noticed that it allows me to develop code that's going to be more maintainable and more robust as well. And so that's especially useful and helpful when you're working in large code bases and with other developers where changes can happen frequently, right? And another thing that I like is that it has improved the developer experience because it does have better tooling support. For example, like refactoring tools and things of that sort. So this can definitely help us developers write code more efficiently and just contribute to the overall developer experience. All right, so rounding out the rest of the tech stack, we have CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, as well as a Docker file. And these make up the remaining percentages of the code base. And so CSS and HTML basically provide the style and structure for our web pages, as we can see here. And then JavaScript, on the other hand, that adds a bit of dynamic functionality, as we can see here as well. And the Docker file, that actually helps for consistent development as well as deployment. Now let's take a look at some of the key features on this event details page and what we've built so far. And I actually just want to point out a couple of the features that I actually contributed to. So on this page in particular, we have the Share Modo pop-up, which we can see when we click Share Group. And as we can see here, we can now share this event page and the event details with our friends, our family, and anyone else through various social platforms such as Telegram here. And we can also share it through Mastodon. And I think that's how you say it. But yeah, we can share info about the email events page through Mastodon as well. We can also share it through Twitter, also now called X. You can also go ahead and email this event page to others as well. And next up, we can also send it through Facebook. And what else do we have? We could share it through Signal. We could copy the URL if we want. And then we can also view the QR code, find out more information about it by downloading it, sharing it with others so that they can find out more information and send it off to them so that others can have more info on this particular event. So yeah, that's one of the features that I built that I wanted to highlight with you all. All right, so next up, the feature that I want to show you all is the walking and biking profile feature. So when we go to our map, we can see that we have the walking profile that's set for us by default. And so if we click somewhere on the map and we click for our starting point, and then we click for our final destination where we want to go and set the waypoint there, we now see that we have some information about the different paths that we can take to get from point A to point B. And then if we click the walking profile icon, it'll actually now display the biking profile. And so this switches the user to a different routing profile, and it'll map their path accordingly. And now let's say we have our starting point, and then we click somewhere else. So we want to go over here. Now we have our final destination waypoint set there, and we can see we have the path, the most efficient path mapped out for us, and it's actually in a different color as well, indicating again that we are on a different route, using a different user routing profile. And yeah, this has been pretty cool. I actually enjoyed building out this feature because, as you can see, it just helps and provide the user with different sets of information, the most efficient path to get from point A to point B. And it overall just enhances the event experience and the user experience as well. And so it was nice building this out. Definitely required some creative logic, and especially in regard to state management and such in Vue.js. But yeah, nonetheless, that is that feature, and I'm gonna now go ahead and wrap up this video for you all. All right, so that was an overview of the tech stack as well as some of the features that I've been working on. I really hope that this gives you some insight and was pretty helpful for understanding some of the technologies and frameworks that are utilized for powering open source projects in 2024. And if you're interested in contributing or learning more, I'll definitely include a link to the GitHub repository in the description below. And with that being said, that's the end of this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you like this kind of video as well. And again, I hope you found something useful from it, and I will see you in the next one.